into, well, it is moving into the western sides of Newcastle right now. You folks in Tuttle proper are in the clear, but Westmore, Central Moore, South Moore, Newcastle, and far north Norman are in immediate danger of this tornado that continues to be on the ground. Let's take our view from live cam 4, and that is our view from the tower. And we're looking down toward the southwest, and let's go to South Cam if we can. And we'll go to live sky cam from South Oklahoma City, and the heavy rain and hail is now moving into South Oklahoma City. We do want to express to you, for the time being, it looks like the tornado will stay south of South 89th Street. It should stay in Cleveland and McLean County, although there may be large hail and damaging winds in Oklahoma County for you folks in South Oklahoma City. Heavy rain, hail, possible damaging winds, but the tornado should stay for the time being south of South 89th Street. And here's our new first video images from our forewarned storm units. We need to get Carano and David on the phone ASAP as this continues to track in. That's from David Payne just coming back, and that is from northeast of Amber and southwest of Newcastle.
Mike, again on the storm tracker system, this is the area we've been talking about. Tornado warnings continue in effect for those that live in the Caddo County area. This is the area that we're talking about. This is the storm that is working its way out of the southwestern part of the Caddo County area and working its way to the east and to the northeast and across parts of the area around the Newcastle area. This is the storm that McLean and Cleveland County are under. This is the area that we've been talking about. The same storm that was near Chickasha has continued to move up the turnpike. Mike Duncan, one of our photojournalists, is watching that circulation, getting calls in from folks in the Newcastle area who say they see the tornado on the ground. We know the storm sirens are going off in this area. McLean and Cleveland County continue. Those are the two counties south of Oklahoma County, if you're new to the area, McLean and Cleveland County, under a tornado warning. And again, that storm is working towards the south sides of the metro area. Oklahoma County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. That means severe thunderstorms are occurring. We're talking about large hail, lightning, heavy rainfall, but this continues to move to the north and the northeast, and this storm not as intense looking as what it looked like earlier, but still a very dangerous situation. Earlier, a tornado reported on the ground near the Boone area. Boone is a very small community in the southern part of that county, and again, that storm continues to move to the north and northeast. So, Mike, still a very dangerous situation for all of Oklahoma, especially those that live in McLean, Cleveland County, and Caddo County. And
we do want to reiterate for the folks in Oklahoma County that it does appear that it'll stay south of South 89th Street, but Norman, Moore, and Newcastle, you are in immediate danger. Mike Duncan, our forewarned units, live with the visual of the tornado. Mike?
Mike, we are still on H.E. Bailey, about 102. There is a rain of debris coming down. Insulation, the interstate is littered all over the place with debris from this tornado, and it's sweeping by us at high rates of speed. Tornado is still on the west side of H.E. Bailey, about a quarter mile from the highway, and moving to the northeast. But it's getting very dark where we are, and there is hundreds of pieces of junk just floating through the air, going by in a circular motion, orbiting this huge tornado. Obviously, some houses have been hit. We've seen pink insulation flying through the air, wood parts of roofs. There is probably a 20-foot-long piece of roof flying 150 feet above the road right now, just across the road. It is amazing right now, Mike.
Mike, we want to stay with you as this comes into the metro. It looks like Newcastle, it's going to track within a mile or two of downtown Newcastle, especially up near Highway 37, as it'll travel very close to the Bailey Turnpike, and then Westmore, even Southmore, and North Norman. That is the area that we are most concerned with. And in Oklahoma City, you folks in Oklahoma County need to stay in your homes. Don't travel. Stay away from windows as the northern edge of this severe storm producing the tornado is going to travel into south. Well, it's in there right now. Midwest City, Del City, South Oklahoma City, and that area, Tinker Diagonal, heavy rain, hail, possible damaging winds, but right now, no threat of a tornado north of South 89th Street. Just stay in your homes and stay away from windows as it moves through. Cleveland, McLean counties, completely different story. Newcastle to Moore to North Norman, immediate danger of a large tornado moving through your neighborhood. If you can get below ground, even if it's 2 homes away from you, if you live in Moore or Norman, go there now and get below ground as this comes on in. We just can't take any chances as the tornado is very large and very strong. Steve Carano now live on the phone line 2. Steve, go ahead.
Mike, I am in Newcastle, just south of Newcastle. I'm watching the tornado cross the road, just about to cross the road in front of me. I'm going to try to get a better vantage point here. A lot of folks out here looking at this thing. I want to try to trying to get people to stay off the road. That's what I want to say. It is very, very dangerous to be out here. And as Dan Trokeld has said time and time again, don't get out and look. This is a huge tornado, and we've had to work around people, and it's very, very dangerous. But I am in Newcastle, and it's about a mile wide, Mike, this tornado.
Okay, tell me from downtown Newcastle exactly where it is.
It's moving probably right through Newcastle right now. It is either on top of downtown Newcastle or just west.
Okay, you say just west of Newcastle. Give us your best indication. How far west of Newcastle?
Less than a mile.
Less than a mile. Is that
Yes.
downtown Newcastle?
Yes, probably a mile, if not less.
Okay, 1 mile or less of downtown Newcastle, moving on in. And Steve, stay with us on the line. Mike Duncan, let's go back to you for an update from your location. Mike Duncan. Do we have Mike Duncan in the control room? Okay, he'll check back with us. Steve Carano, let's walk through this. We have David Payne as well. David?
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
Go ahead, David.
Okay, again, we're just south of Newcastle here. And again, a large, very, very large tornado on the ground. Still continues on the ground now. I'm just south of Newcastle. About a mile here. About a half mile to just coming on the south side of Newcastle. Numerous power flashes. Still large tornado on the ground. Estimated width there, honestly, looks about like I did earlier, a half mile to 3/4 of a mile wide, maybe. At this point, it's got a huge, we call it a debris shroud out ahead of it, which is still packing quite a wall. There's still a lot of debris flying on the eastern side of it, anywhere from 90 to 100 miles an hour on the southern side as well. But the actual tornado, again, about the half mile to 3/4 of a mile wide. It's just to my northwest now. I've got debris falling out of the sky, Mike, as I've had pretty much all afternoon. But again, right now, I just had a small board hit the front of the truck. We've got leaves and all kinds of people's homes and stuff falling from the sky. It looks like birds. Looks like just 1,000 birds everywhere. There's just debris all over the place here, coming in on the south sides of Newcastle. And again, large tornado, and I mean large tornado on the ground.
Okay, we are getting reports now from our crews in the field of all sorts of damage and injuries. And keep in mind, this is a developing situation, but we, as Steve and David have confirmed, and Mike Duncan, there is a tremendous amount of debris back in Grady County. We are getting reports of, well, just a quote from our ground unit, entire hilltop of structures wiped out, and that would be southeast of Tuttle. So the damage is quite severe as this now comes into Newcastle. Steve, let's go back to you live. Go ahead.
Well, Mike, David just passed me. He is north of me on Highway 62. The tornado is going right through Newcastle right now. It's about to cross Highway 62, which is the north-south road through Newcastle, and it is moving on through. We've got debris flying in the air, lightning, arches of lightning or electricity because of it hitting power lines, Mike. You might want to call David. David is closer to this tornado right now than I am.
Okay, Steve, just keep talking to us. Keep talking to us as we're going through Newcastle.
It's crossing. It's going through Newcastle right now. Still a very, very large tornado. It's crossing. Up here. Can I go Highway 62? I need to go this way. Newcastle. Transformers are exploding in Newcastle. Transformers are exploding. Mike?
Yeah, we're hearing you. We're listening. Transformers
Steve,
exploding.
Go ahead.
Okay, get out of there. Okay, he is talking about transformers exploding. That's the storm that we're talking about the Newcastle storm as it makes its way out of the Newcastle areas into the south side of Oklahoma City. Even though officially the tornado warning is not in effect for Oklahoma County, Mike, we understand that the storm sirens are going off, and we're getting pictures now.
David, go ahead.
Oh, you got an ice field coming out.
David, go ahead. You are on the air. Last report is it's going through Newcastle. Go ahead, David Payne. You're live on the air.
Hello?
Yes, David, you are there. We're getting cellular interruptions because of the damage in that part of the metro is what's happening right now.
Mike?
Yes, David, go ahead. David Payne, go ahead.
This is Carano.
Go ahead, Steve.
Well, you can't. I don't know why you cannot hear Mike or David, but I can tell you that the tornado has just gone through Newcastle.
Yes.
It just went through downtown Newcastle. It's east of Highway 62 now. Lots of transformers exploding, electricity, and we are still in behind this because it's so large, Mike. The tornado is about 3/4 of a mile to a mile wide. So we're having to stay off of it just a little bit because of flying debris. Okay. It is just moved through Newcastle. It's east of Highway 62 right now. Very large tornado still on the ground, and it's amazing.
Okay, Steve, we're listening to your report. We'll continue to watch this very closely. Mike Duncan now joins us again. Mike, on the ground, give us your latest information.
And we are still on H.E. Bailey driving towards Oklahoma City, approximately mile marker 15. The tornado is still going quite strong. It It's still very large. Debris littering the highway. The highway is covered with dirt. Like there is so much debris flying through the air out here. Still huge.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Again, on Storm Tracker, I do want to give you an update on the tornado warning that's now been issued. We are talking about this. This is a storm that is on the ground in the Newcastle area. We're watching this closely. We also have now a reissuance of the tornado warning for the folks that live in Canadian County and also in southeastern Kingfisher County. This is the area we're talking about. Here is the I-40 area. This storm right in this region, right in here. So again, if you live in Canadian County, the northern part of that county, or the southern part of Kingfisher County, you are now under a tornado warning. This tornado warning is in effect until 7:30. Most dangerous part of the storm is located near the Okarche area. This is the area that we're talking about. So again, we're watching this storm closely as it makes its way towards the metro area. We're also watching this storm, a dangerous part of the storm located near the Okarche area that'll be tracking up towards Kingfisher County. So if you live in southern Kingfisher County, northern parts of Canadian County, you're under immediate tornado, you should be taking immediate tornado precautions, a dangerous situation. And this storm, we've got Steve Carano, David Payne, and Mike Duncan on this storm, our storm trackers, and that's going to continue to move over towards the metro area. Officially right now, Oklahoma County is not under a tornado warning. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but this is a storm that will likely continue to move towards the south sides of town. But folks in the Newcastle area, we understand there's damage there. We understand that there's still a lot of traffic, especially, Mike, this time of day when a lot of folks are on the roadways and getting home. So that makes for even a more dangerous situation.
Yes, it does. So let's take Steve Carano live. Steve, tell us what's going on. Here's your Skylink picture. Go ahead. You're live.
Okay, that is the Skylink picture as it was west of Newcastle, Mike. I am on 130, Highway 130. I am paralleling the storm. I'm south of the tornado. It is on the ground still. Very, very massive. I mean, it's about a 3/4 to a mile wide. We keep on saying that. People definitely need to stay in. Keep your TV tuned in. Go to your safe place. Do what you need to do because I am moving east on Highway 130. And Mike, if you could tell me real quick, if you have access, do I have a north-south road that you could give me that I won't get into this
Well,
thing?
the folks that live along Highway 37, as far north as Moore, the folks on Highway 37 over to downtown Moore, Newcastle crossing over 44 right now, crossing the river right now. Highway 37, if you live north or south of Highway 37 in Moore, all the way over to I-35, now is the time to get down. And we really need you folks to think about the very safest place you can possibly go away from windows, interior closet or bathroom, below ground level, even if the nearest area below ground level is a house or two away. We really, truly recommend you go there and get below ground. If you don't have any place below ground, then you need to get in the bathroom, get in the bathtub, put something heavy like a heavy blanket or a mattress over your head, and hunker down in the bathtub as this comes through Newcastle and Moore, near and especially south of Highway 37, South Moore. Steve Carano, go ahead.
Mike, it is on the ground still. I am at the highway end is 130 and 62. Transformers are exploding. I'm in the west side of Newcastle. It looks like it's going to be north and west of Newcastle, probably going through Highway 62 here. The street lights are out, Highway 62, and it is going to be north, right along the turnpike, Mike, north of downtown Newcastle.
Oh, okay, Steve Carano, what's your exact location right now and exactly where's the tornado?
Highway 62, it's going to cross Highway 62 on the northwest side of Newcastle, the northwest side of Newcastle. The northern extent of Newcastle, you folks need to take cover. All of Highway 62 here, all the power is pretty much gone. It's off. So be careful with that. So it's going to cross Highway 62 and come into the southwest side of the metro, Mike.
Steve, keep talking to us. We want to walk the folks through. Keep going.
Okay. I'm on Northwest 10th Street in Newcastle, Northwest 10th Street, and Highway 62 going through Newcastle. It is on. I'm getting some wind here. I'm on the north side of Newcastle. Multi-vortex. Wow. Multi-vortex, Mike, as it's going through the northwest side of Newcastle.
Okay.
Oh wait. Okay. I may have to stop, Mike. Hang on.
Okay, David, Steve, be very, very careful at any time. Anytime you have to drop out, we certainly understand that. This is some video that was shot earlier. Very dangerous situation. This is the storm that they're on, and again, we want to keep our storm trackers safe as they continue to provide information. Again, if your power goes out, we continue to broadcast on FM on 104.1. We're also now told we're also on AM on KOMA at 1520. You're looking at video. There's our graphic there. Again, on FM, in case the television goes out and you lose power, FM 104.1, and also on AM on 1520. David Payne now joins us. David, what do you see?
Dan, again, I'm about 2 miles north and east of Newcastle. The power just went off in Newcastle. And again, the tornado is just north of town here. An F2, I'm sorry, let me back up. An F3, F4, quarter to a half-mile wide tornado. Unbelievable. Just northeast of town here. Major tornado doing major damage. It took out several structures, demolished several structures. I saw roofs. I saw telephone poles. I've seen everything in the air as it just crossed about a quarter of a mile north of me. And again, still on the ground, still violently rotating. F4, F5. Again, people don't need to look at these pictures. They need to take cover immediately. This storm is huge. This tornado is big. And again, we're up on it right now. It's to the northeast of Newcastle, about 3 miles.
Okay, David Payne. Do we have Steve Carano? Steve Carano, go ahead.
Yes,
Steve, you are live.
I am south. It's north and east of Newcastle right now. North and east of Newcastle. It is a multi-vortex, Mike. I've got several vortices rotating around the main vortex, and it's huge. There's probably 4 tornadoes. It's got a lot of debris. I'm on Highway 62, and it's still north and east of me, probably about maybe a mile or 2 northeast of Highway 62.
Okay, put me in key here, control room. Put me in key. The storm now is turning more to the left, and let me explain to you what this means. Here's the tornado circulation right here. It's just south of Highway 37 on the western sides of Moore. It made a jog to the right. It straightened out. Now it's turning a little bit. Leave that right where you have it there for the folks on the safe area. And now it may go on up and approach South 89th Street. So we are talking about possibly as far north as South 89th Street. The tornado is located right here. That's at 44, just to the southwest of Highway 37, West Moore. It is now beginning to turn more to the left, and that will take it up to as far north as South 89th Street. Even you folks that are a mile north of South 89th Street, you folks need to seek shelter immediately. Interior closet or bathroom. We're talking about South Oklahoma City, near South 89th Street, because the tornado now is turning more to the left. Let's go back now live to Steve Carano. Steve, what's it look like?
Okay, Mike, I've got Skylink pictures heading back towards you right now. Multiple vortex tornadoes still on the ground. It's north and east of Newcastle. It's east of Highway 62. And you folks in western sides of Moore, I guess, what is that, Highway 37, Mike? I'm not close to the map. Is that Highway 37? Debris everywhere, several multi-vortex tornadoes rotating around that. You folks in Moore, please take cover. This is a huge storm, and it's still moving east, northeast, and Mike, it looks like like you were saying earlier, it's trying to turn left. It's anchoring right now. It's staying put. It's hanging tight. It's still moving east, northeast at a very slow clip. You folks in Moore, please take cover. This thing is moving towards you right now. Northeast of Newcastle, Mike, and east of Highway 62.
Okay, let's go to our live picture from South 89th and I-35. Now, do we know what direction we are looking here? That is South 89th and I-35. We need to keep that picture up. Now let's go back to Steve Carano with the edge. Steve, give us an update. Steve Carano, go ahead. Do we? Okay.
We got new pictures in.
Yes,
now.
New pictures. Let's go to Skylink and first video. Large debris cloud.
Mike,
Steve, yes, go ahead.
Yes, you should have my pictures in the storm center now. Okay. The storm is going to be moving through the south sides of the metro. You folks in Moore and southern parts of 89th Street in that area, please take cover. This storm is still moving to east-northeast.
Give it a shot.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, we're watching this now. We're looking at your picture just coming in. We also have another vantage point. We have Kelsey Angle, our intern. He also sees that storm. Kelsey, tell us exactly where you're at and what you see specifically.
Robinson Street on 48th Street and just south of Indian Hills Road, and I have the tornado off to my northeast. Large circulation, multiple vortex, and it looks like it's going to pass just right along Indian Hills Road and possibly to the north.
Okay, thank you very much on that, Kelsey. Just keep us posted on that. Mike, again, the tornado warning also continues in effect for the folks that live in the Kingfisher area. The Kingfisher County area, you're under a tornado warning. We're watching two separate areas where tornadoes likely may be on the ground. Kingfisher County, everywhere in the county, you should be taking immediate tornado precautions. We continue to watch this, still moving to the north and northeast, but you live in the Kingfisher area right now. You should go to the basement. You should go to the storm cellar. This is a dangerous storm that'll be passing to the east of the Dover area and eventually working its way perhaps as far into the western and northwestern parts of Logan County. And again, for the folks that live in the Moore area, tornado warning continues for this area. McLean and Cleveland County. Mike, officially Oklahoma County is not under a tornado warning, which is surprising.
Well, if it keeps turning to the left, it's going to get very close to South 89th Street, especially South 89th, near I-35 and east of I-35. It'll gradually approach South 89th Street, but anybody along Highway 37 in Moore, all the way over to I-35, South 4th Street, it looks like it's going to travel right through that part of Moore. Now, we do have David Payne. David, is it still on the ground? David Payne, go ahead. You're live. Okay, how about Steve Carano? Steve, are you there?
I am approaching south, just crossing the Canadian River on Highway 44. It is still to my east. You folks on Highway 37 and in Moore, it is making an east-northeasterly track. You folks are definitely in danger of this storm as it's going to track along and just south of Mike, probably 89th Street. Is that right?
Yes.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yes, yes. It should approach 89th Street near I-35 or just to the east of I-35. It'll gradually approach South 89th. Right now, Highway 37, 4th Street in Moore. It'll be traveling right through that section of Moore, perhaps even a little further south down to Indian Hills Road on the far northern sides of Norman. Steve, stay with us. What's your exact location? What do you see?
Okay, I just crossed the South Canadian River on 44. I'm approaching southwest 149th Street on 44. And it's still off to my east and northeast, about maybe 3. I would put it around the Moore vicinity and 4th Street exit, probably. That's in the vicinity.
Yes.
So, folks, David over there, and you really need to take
We are conference with David Payne now. David, go ahead.
Okay, Mike, I'm on southwest 149th, just north of the river, and an F3, F4 tornado. I just had to back out. I was too close. I have to admit, I had to back out a little bit. Got a little scared there for a second. Again, it's crossing southwest 149th right now. Oh my gosh, I've got a huge roof in the air. I've got a home roof in the air. I've got winds now to 100 in my position to 110 miles an hour. The tornado is directly over southwest 149th, and it's a half-mile wide, and it's an F4 tornado, winds in excess of 200, maybe 240 miles an hour.
Okay.
If you can hear the wind, I'll roll the window down, and you can hear the wind here. You can hear the rushing water sound, the roar, if you would. It just crossed southwest 149th, just east of 44, and I tell you what it did. It turned hard right at the river, and then it took more of a north turn. It turned more back to the left. It anchored and came back to the left as it intensified, which of course is a classic thing that happens with these. So it came a little bit further north, and I am in the middle of all kinds of damage here. I've got, as I'm talking to you, there's several homes here that were hit extremely hard. I have animals, power lines down, animals down. I have a mess, and of course, as you can imagine, we need emergency crews here on Southwest 49th, just east 44. And oh my gosh, looking around, Mike, it looks literally like a war zone. I mean, every house, cars, it's really bad. I can just describe it as a war zone. There's debris everywhere. There's parts of houses that are missing. Major large trees are snapped off of the base, sheared off of the base. And again, the tornado now just to my north and east.
If you'd like to make a call,
just to my north and east, about an eighth of a mile. You can hear the wind here.
Let's go to Chopper 4.
About 100 miles an hour right now.
Let's go to Chopper 4. Jim Gardner and Chopper 4. Go ahead, Jim. Jim Gardner, you are live.
Okay, Mike, I got you now. Took a while to get everything lined out. We're just lifted Westheimer, full fuel here. We're coming in. We got a visual on a tornado moving northeast. We'd like to say there's a lot of lightning with this, Mike, and if you'll give me a minute, I have to pass along to Corey, George, and Ryan for Cruise Aviation to turn us around. They didn't have to fuel us. They did anyway. We're back up in the air. Right now we're getting back on the tornado, Mike. It's still very large, still very big. I hope you're getting a good picture. We'll get around here in a minute where we can start tracking it, and we'll go along with our updates. Back to you.
Okay, Jim, we want to stay with you. The current location of this is Highway 37 and Pennsylvania. That is the exact location. We'll stay with Jim Gardner live. It is traveling northeast into Central and North Moore and may approach South 89th Street and I-35. David Payne, you still have you live. Go ahead. Let's go to Quinn Tran in Chickasha with damage. Let's go over to Quinn.
Mike, we are along Highway 81 near the municipal airport. West of here, there's damage. You're looking right there west of Highway 81. The municipal airport is simply destroyed. They describe it as happening very quickly. This was a Navy air base built in World War II, and they say it's never been damaged until now. If you look east of here on Highway 81, you can see some of the debris from the airport tossing over towards the east side of Highway 81. So far, we've had no reports of injuries, but that's still something we're checking right now, Mike.
Okay, that's Quinn Tran reporting live from Chickasha. This is live now at May Avenue, just to the north of Highway 37, in the western sides of Moore. And if we have any of our ground-based units, we'll take them. Jim Gardner live. Go ahead, Jim.
Large transformer explosions right now. A lot of explosions going off in the middle of this tornado. So significant damage being done as this tornado tracks. We're getting a lot of turbulence here, Mike. We're right on the edge of the winds are just incredible when we went into Westheimer. We were still several miles away from this thing, but the winds are just absolutely incredible.
Okay, this will be tracking across I-35 just to the north of Highway 37 at around Southwest 104th Street. If you live around Southwest 104th and I-35 back down to May Avenue and Highway 37, it is right there tracking towards Southwest 104th or South 104th and I-35. Jim, let's stay with your chopper shot. It is moving in now to the heart of northwestern Moore. Go ahead.
Roger, Mike. We can see cars on the roads, on the streets up in front of us, Mike. I don't know if you can tell that from you, but I mean, these people need to get off this road. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say, Mike. The pictures tell it all. It's just, this is just a massive tornado. It's creating a lot of damage. Anybody caught in this thing is going to be injured. They need to get off now if they're listening to the radio and find a safe place. They got emergency crews running everywhere down the road here, Mike. We're coming up just west of Westheimer here, about 4 miles, tracking northeast bound with this tornado. You just see the explosions going off in the center of this thing, Mike. But the main concern is the people on the ground on these roads. They need to find shelter. Back to you.
Okay, let's go to our ground shot at South 89th and I-35. Now you can see it. There it is. We're going to stay with this one for a while as well and just go back and forth between the chopper and the ground shot. There is the tornado on the ground. You're at South 89th Street and I-35. That's just to the south of Crossroads Mall. You're looking toward the south-southwest from Crossroads Mall.
Large explosion.
And there's...
Large explosion.
Look at the explosion.
Tremendous, folks. We have to just express to you this is 200-mile-per-hour winds plus now moving toward I-35 in Moore. And we just cannot express enough to you how dangerous this is, and this is extremely dangerous. We need to express to you, if you're ahead of this, you need to find someplace as safe as you possibly can. There's the live picture from Southeast 89th and I-35. That's just to the south of Crossroads Mall. You're looking toward the south, and there's the large tornado on the ground now moving through downtown Moore. Let's go back to our chopper shot. And Jim, how wide do you think this thing is?
Come back, Mike.
How wide do you think this is right now?
Boy, Mike, from my vantage point right now, it's got to be over a quarter mile to a half mile wide from what we're looking at.
Okay, I
mean, that's just a rough estimate. I'm probably not that good, but it's significantly large. Let's put it that way.
We are also experiencing problems with the cell phones now because of the damage in southwest sections of Moore. Some of the cell sites are becoming unreliable. So if you're having a hard time reaching your friends or loved ones in Moore, that's probably why, in addition to power lines, multiple power lines now which are down and destroyed in the western sides of Moore. And once again, you're looking at live from Chopper 4 of what appears to be an F4 tornado now moving through Moore, Oklahoma, and that is just to the south of South Oklahoma City. It looks like it will stay in Cleveland County until it at least gets past I-35. There's a chance it could move up toward Tinker Air Force Base. You folks in Midwest City, south sides of Del City, Tinker Air Force Base along I-240 over to Lake Stanley Draper. It is headed directly your way. There's our live picture from I-35 and Southeast 89th. If you live over near Tinker Air Force Base, you need to think about where you need to go to stay safe and take your battery-operated radio on Magic 104.1, and you can go to your safe spot with that radio. We will stay with you through the entire time. Interior closet, preferably a bathroom in the bathtub, mattress over your head. If you have a storm cellar or basement, or even any type of hole that is down below ground, even a crawl space in your home that is below ground, you really need to consider going there. We pray that you are safe in South Oklahoma City, because this is a terrible, terrible live view from Chopper 4. Jim Gardner, what do you see?
Hang on one. Mike, I was just talking to the Westheimer Tower. They've lost their telephones. They are also having a problem with their radios. He's talking to me right now. Giving him information on this tornado to inform Tinker of its path. But they're starting to get a lot of power outages around here, Mike. We can see lights go off. One side of the southwest side of where we are right now is totally black, Mike. There's no power at all. Emergency vehicles running around. There is no power on the southwest side by Oklahoma City Will Rogers World Airport and the south edges of that. And as we go through, you can see the transformers go on and more lights going off in the city. I mean, this is it's a light show, Mike. It's incredible. There's stuff blowing up all over.
That is an incredibly tragic scene for Moore. We pray that you folks are safe. This is an F4 tornado going through Moore live. It's just
Mike,
the worst case scenario.
This is going to cross I-35. I-35 is very, very heavy in traffic southbound at this time.
Folks, if you're listening on
cross right now, you can see the explosion.
If you are south of 89th Street on I-35 down to South 4th Street and Moore, get out of your car right now. Get out of your car right now. Don't wait. Don't wait till you see a picture of it. Don't wait until you can see it. Get out of your car right now. Get underneath an underpass. Get in a hole. Get in a ditch. Get out of your car on I-35. You folks listening to us on the radio, get out of your car. Do not be in your car anywhere near this tornado. It could even suck you in if you're close to it. Let's go back to our live. Let's go to South Oklahoma City ground shot. South 89th and I-35.
Mike, there you can see it on the ground. Very dangerous situation. Our worst fears really are realized. A major tornado on the ground in a major metropolitan area. Dangerous situation. Not since June 13th that we see.
You can hear it from South 89th Street.
Let's be quiet for just a second. We'll see if we can hear that shot.
You can hear the roar. You can hear the tornado from 89th Street. You can hear the roar.
Again, those listening on radio, you are going to be occasionally experiencing some power outages because these storms are moving into the metro area. We're going to have occasionally some shot.
Look at the debris. Look at all the debris. Look at all the debris in the air. Folks, please, we plead with you. You absolutely have got to get down. Get to the lowest level you possibly can. We plead with you. Do not take the extra minute or two. We plead with you to get below ground. Get in the interior closet or bathroom. Get in the bathtub. We plead with you. There it is, crossing Interstate 35. There is a tremendous amount of debris in the air. We pray and plead with you, please get down now. If you're I-35, get out of your car. If you're east of I-35 over to Tinker Air Force Base, please, we plead with you, go to your safe spot now. Take your radio. Forget the live pictures. Go get safe. Oh, my gosh.
89, South 89.
Folks, we plead with you, just go to your safe spot if you possibly can. That's an F. Look at the horizontal vortex. That is an F4 to an F5 tornado. That's winds of 250 miles an hour.
All right, we're asking our crew right now to shut down, get out, and get out of there. This is a dangerous situation. Mike, a serious situation, and many folks still will be tempted to go outside and try to look at this thing. Do not go outside. Stay where you're at. If you're in your car in this area, you need to get out of your car right now. You're going to be experiencing some power outages. We're broadcasting, simulcasting right now on AM 1520 KOMA and also on Magic 104.1 FM and also on KRXO. So FM 107.7 or 104.1 or also KOMA 1520. This is the largest storm we have seen in the metro area.
Oh my gosh. This will go south of our live camera. This will go south of our live camera.
Okay.
I think they can probably stay up and be safe. It's going to go to their south and to their east. Folks, if you live along South 89th Street, and it's in North Moore right now, if you live on South 89th Street over to Lake Stanley Draper and Tinker Air Force Base, folks, it's headed your way, and it could easily be an F5 tornado. We plead with you, do not take this lightly. The GM plant is not safe.
No,
GM plant is in the direct path of this.
If you're working out in the General Motors plant, take the immediate tornado precautions.
Evacuate the plant right now. Go to your designated tornado safety area at the GM plant right now. Do not. Tinker Air Force Base as well. Tinker and GM both are in the direct path.
Tinker has been evacuated.
Mike, we have Tammy Payne at Tinker Air Force Base. Let's go ahead and take that call right now. Tammy Payne, can you hear us?
Tammy Payne, you're live on the air.
Okay, we do not have.
Call back.
Mike, Tinker and both General Motors both have a plan of action. They do know what to do in case a tornado warning is issued. Those are the things that we practice for. Do those things now. Those kids that are listening to us and watching us, we do have drills. We do go to your schools. We tell you the safe things to do. Do those things right now. Storm sirens, you may or may not hear them, but this is a very dangerous situation for South Oklahoma City. Folks that live in the Kingfisher area, we continue with a tornado warning there, Mike. We'll continue to watch that, but this tornado right now is on the ground.
Folks, it is also still turning left. It is turning left, and that's going to take it deeper into Oklahoma County, east of I-35. It looks to be Tinker Air Force Base. It looks to be in the direct bullseye path of this tornado. Even South Del City and even Central and South Midwest City, even as far north as Southeast 29th Street, over around Midwest and Air Depot. If you live near that area or south of there, you stand the risk of having a direct hit from this tornado. It is headed directly toward Tinker Air Force Base. House is leveled in Moore. Do we still have our South 89th Street live shot? Let's go to it.
Okay, there you can see what we've been talking about. Those of you listening, we're looking at live pictures from the Moore area. Very dangerous situation.
If you can hear me?
We can hear the crew live. Go ahead.
This is Dan Anderson. I'm just 1 mile north on 35 Access Road. This thing passed right in front of us, about a mile away. It is huge. I've seen several explosions from power lines. We have crews coming down. We're starting to get hammered by rain now. But you're looking at the back side of it. As it went past I-35, it looked like it went directly over the Moore Water Tower.
Yes, we have you, Dan Anderson, directly over the Moore Water Tower, and you're looking at the backside. You're looking southeast from South 89th Street and I-35. It is now traveling through northeast Moore, approaching Sunny Lane, Sooner, and Air Depot roads. It's near Bryant and southeast 89th and 104th Street in Bryant. Right now is the location. Can we go back to Jim Gardner? Oh, Tammy Payne is also live on the phone. Tammy, it is moving directly toward your location.
Mike, it's obvious it is. The skies have gotten considerably darker in a short amount of time, and folks here in Midwest City who are driving are taking the dark skies, heavy rain, and quarter-size hail very seriously. We have a number of family members, children and parents, women who have gotten out of their cars and are taking cover under a bridge, under blankets. More than a dozen cars under the bridge where we are stationed, and we're going to stay here and tell you if anything changes here in Midwest City. I tell you, the folks who are home, count your lucky stars. Some of these people who waited too long to get home are paying for it to a certain extent, having to take cover under bridges, hoping for the best as it appears things are heading our way.
Tammy, please stay with us and also take a look where you are and be prepared to seek shelter. Jim Gardner live.
Mike,
Jim, go ahead.
Tinker, we're in view of Tinker Air Force Base at this time. I've counted 6 lightning strikes directly to the Tinker Air Force Base in front of this tornado. I mean, Tinker's just getting pelted with lightning strikes. It's unbelievable. The Moore is totally without power. I mean, it's black, Mike. There's just a few scattered lights on. Moore is totally without power. But right now, the main concern is Tinker Air Force Base. This thing is tracking right for it, Mike.
Okay, folks, if you are on I-240 from Bryant, Sunny Lane, Sooner, Air Depot, Midwest, Douglas, or Post Roads on I-240, and you're in your car, you need to get out of your car. You need to go park. You need to park your car underneath an underpass. Get out of your car now and go up underneath those girders and get up there and wedge yourself up in those girders. Do not stay in your car. It's going to track across 240 as it heads into Tinker Air Force Base. Dan.
Mike, very dangerous situation. We continue to talk about that. Folks, really, unless you can see these pictures, you don't know how serious of a situation this is if you're listening to us. Don't fart around with this storm. This is one of the most dangerous situations I've ever seen, I've ever heard, I've ever been involved in. This is bad, folks. Bob Jr. is going to join us now. We understand, Bob Jr., that there have been some evacuations. What can you tell us, Bobby?
Well, Dan, I hope you can hear me okay. I'm at the Myriad, and of course the Blazers are getting ready to play hockey against Huntsville Channel Cats in Game 2 of the Central Hockey League Finals, and they evacuated the Myriad about 15 minutes ago. And we're happy to report the Blazers and their staff did a great job. It was a very calm evacuation, and right now I'd say about 2,000 or 3,000 fans are in the parking garage of the Myriad on the south end, which we're told is the safest part of the building. So everything right now is on hold at the Myriad. I think a lot of precautions have been taken. There's been a little flickering of power inside this building and some what sounds like transformers being hit outside or something because of the rain and lightning, what have you. But
okay.
So anyway, right now it's a pretty safe situation here, I believe.
Okay, thank you, Bobby. Continue to monitor the situation. South 89th, we understand it's on the ground.
Yeah. It's coming. It's almost on 240 right now.
Yeah, South 89th and Sunny Lane, almost on 240. Tornado, large tornado, on the ground right now. David Payne joins us. David, can you see the storm?
Yeah, Dan, it's on 240. I'm a mile east of Sunny Lane. It's on 240 at Sunny Lane. I've got major damage here on 240 eastbound here. I just passed Sunny Lane. I've got west winds again at about 80 miles an hour, and it looks like snow. It looks like snow. I've got so much debris. I've got debris all over my car. There's debris hanging on the power lines that are left. There's just pieces of homes scattered all through and on I-240. It looks like a desert. What I mean is there's nobody here but my car going eastbound. There's billboard signs, big metal billboard signs, blown over, and it literally looks like an atomic bomb went off here just east on I-240 at Sunny Lane. The tornado now is just to my east, just to my northeast, about an eighth of a mile or less. A rapid rotation here, and again, trees, large trees are sheared off at the base, and I'm having, okay.
David, it is now it's 1 mile southwest.
I'm going to pull out of here. We've got all kinds of gas lines now leaking. I smell gas spewing all over east of Sunny Lane here on 240.
And that brings up a good point, David. Folks that are going down there, if you are not in the affected area, we plead with you, do not go down there. Gas lines have been ruptured. There is a potential for it to be injured by flying debris that is still falling from the sky. Emergency crews have to have the roadways clear to rescue folks that have been trapped in this in Moore. And we know that has happened because an F4 tornado has just gone through Moore. The emergency crews have got to have the roads clear to rescue the folks in Moore. Please do not go to the affected area. Give these folks...
Hey, Mike?
Yes, go ahead, David.
I don't know if you can hear me, but there's big pieces of debris hitting my car that sound like hail. There's large pieces of homes and whatever else this tornado has just ripped through.
It's coming into Tinker right now. It's coming into Tinker Air Force Base right now.
I'm at Bryant Avenue on 240, and I don't know what was here before that was on the corner of Bryant and 35, but it's gone. Whatever was here, I'm sorry, I-240 and Bryant.
Yes.
Industrial buildings here, they're literally gone. There's nothing left at all. There's nothing left at all.
Jim Gardner, can you jump in here? Can you still see Tinker?
I can see Tinker. It's right off my nose, Mike. There it is in your picture. You can see in reference to it, to where the tornado is moving. In just a few minutes here, Mike, it's going to be crossing the Tinker Air Force Base.
And it is still on the ground back in there, is it not?
It is on the ground. There's still explosions going off, transformers, lights going out all over. It appears, though, Mike, of course, we're moving in around to the southwest edge of it here. There's some more explosions going off. It's still on the ground, Mike. It's just a few minutes away from Tinker.
Okay. Jim Gardner will continue to watch this situation. Tammy Payne, and for those in the Tinker Air Force Base area, you are under immediate danger right now. You should be taking the necessary tornado precautions. Those listening in your vehicle, get out of your vehicle. Go into a convenience store. Go into a substantial structure. If that's not available, get out of your car, away from your car, in a ditch or ravine, cover up your head, and pray to God, because this is a serious situation. Westmore High School damage, Moore High School damage, homes off their foundation. Again, some tips for you. You do need to go to a basement or a storm cellar. If that's not available, you need to go to the inside part of your house. We're talking about a closet. We're talking about the hallway, or even crawling into the bathtub. If you can, go there right now. Have the kids put on their winter coats or cover up in a blanket in case there's flying debris. Let the kids know if you do those necessary things, you have a substantial chance of surviving this thing. And we do need to remind you that you do need to try to stay calm. I know it's very difficult to do during this time, but stay calm. Do those things without panicking. You'll have a much better chance of getting through this. Stay inside. We beg you, do not go outside to try to see this thing. Stay where you're at right now and cover up, because this is a dangerous situation. Now it's getting very difficult to see. It's going to be a very dangerous situation for those who are going to be out, and we encourage you, because as Mike mentioned, a dangerous situation with emergency vehicles trying to get down to the Moore area. If you hop in your car and try to see this thing, the only thing that you're doing is causing more problems. The rescue crews may not be able to get down. Also, we know because of the power outages and all the flashes that we've seen that many of the electrical power lines are down or live laying on the ground. That's a very dangerous situation, so don't get in your car. Stay exactly where you're at right now, and because this storm is still on the ground. Mike, I'm very concerned about this storm because, again, it continues to move into an area that is extremely populated.
And it continues to pull toward the left, which is going to take it more into Midwest City. Jim, visually, what do you see right now? It looks like it's right on top of Tinker.
Well, Mike, it's still just appears on the west side of Tinker. If Steve, I got a lot of radio traffic here.
It keeps pulling toward the left. It may even go just to the north of the middle of Tinker. It keeps pulling to the left, which is going to take it up to 240 and southeast 29th, even on possibly the northern side of Tinker, and that's going to be approaching the downtown area of Midwest City. And Jim, visually, it appears to still obviously be on the ground.
It is, Mike. There's still transformers exploding on the ground. From our vantage point, it looks like it may cross the north end of Tinker or not. But right now, I would say it's just approximately entering the abandoned land area that is just west of Tinker. It's just now crossed. What's that? I don't know what that first road is. Air Depot. I believe that's Air Depot. It's just crossing that. It's entered into like a vacant area of land, and then it'll enter onto the Air Force Base.
Jim,
Mike.
what is that street there that we're looking at right below you?
I believe this is Air Depot, Mike, if I'm not mistaken.
Air Depot looking north.
Right. Right now we're directly south of it, looking north of that.
Okay, that's going to put the tornado at southeast 44th and Air Depot. Southeast 44th and Air Depot. Jim, do you believe that entire dark area, is that potentially, it looks from here, that's potentially part of the circulation, that whole dark area?
Yes, Mike, that whole dark area still is part of the circulation. It appears to have weakened, though. It appears to have weakened.
It does.
But, we still have transformers. There's still a significant amount of lightning and wind involved in this. But it appears that it has weakened a little bit, Mike, which is, thank God. It's just incredible.
It is still kind of pulling more to the left, which southeast 15th, southeast 29th, Air Depot, Midwest Boulevard, Douglas Boulevard, over to Post Road, Westheimer Road, 15th and 29th Street. You folks are right in the path.
Okay,
Kelsey
Mike.
Angle also is live on the phone. Let's take Kelsey. Kelsey, do you have us? Kelsey Angle near Sooner Road. Go ahead. You're live. Okay.
Mike, Chopper 4.
Yes, go ahead.
Right now we are sitting right coming up over the top of the GM plant. We are sitting right over the top of the GM plant on the south end of Tinker Air Force Base.
It
believes it's going to hit the diagonal runway, and I don't know I believe a lot of the engineering and stuff is between the diagonal and the other runway that runs north and south. That may get hit, Mike, but we're sitting right here with it. You're seeing it as we're seeing it. Still, it's on the ground. Transformers are still blowing up. We're just watching the lights of the city just disappear, Mike, as we're flying along here.
It is it's within a mile due south of the City Hall in Midwest City. Within a mile, probably due south of the City Hall on 44th or 29th Street Southeast.
A couple of intersections are now closed down. Fire shutting these down, likely caused by the lightning there. 119th and South Penn, 134th and Southwestern. Those intersections are going to be shut down. Folks, a lot more intersections will be shut down. Mike, if I could, real quickly, I do want to talk about another tornado warning that's just been issued. Folks that live in southern Alfalfa County, that's northwestern Oklahoma, Oklahoma. That is in effect until 8:15. So folks that live near the Helena area, Goltry, the prison up in that area, also eventually over towards Jet Nash. We're talking about northwest Oklahoma under a tornado warning in the southern section of Alfalfa County until 8:15. Mike?
Let's go back to Jim Gardner here live. Jim, it looks like it's still very large, still on the ground.
Very large. I had to roll around there, Mike. Yeah, you can see they're exploding. The transformers it's still on the ground. It's just eating land just right and left, Mike. I mean, it's just incredible.
It's still turning more to the left, and as it turns to the left, it takes it deeper into Midwest City. And folks, we are talking about potentially, it looks to be an F4 tornado, winds over 200 miles an hour near Southeast 29th and Sooner Road currently. If you live along Southeast 15th, Reno Avenue from Sooner over to Air Depot, Midwest, Douglas Boulevards. You folks, you have the possibility of having a large tornado go through your area. So you need to be in your safe spot now. Dan had an excellent point on putting the kids in their winter coats.
I smell gas.
Chopper 4 smells gas at his flight level.
Mike, we're right just now on the west side of Jim. There's just a strong odor of natural gas. I mean, it's so bad I can't hardly breathe here. We're at 2,000 feet, which puts us about 1,000 feet above the ground, and it's starting to get stifling up here. We're moving out, but there's significant gas leaks somewhere around here, Mike. It's just we're going to have to probably fly out of here in a minute.
There's so much debris down there, folks that are traveling down there. You will probably get a flat tire. So, and that should be the least of your concerns. But you do not want to be down there at all. You stand to get flat tires and everything else. You need to let the emergency crews do their jobs down in Midwest City, Tinker Air Force Base, Moore, and Newcastle. This is a terrible situation.
Another tornado warning just issued. We talk about the storms in northwest Oklahoma. We've been talking about the storms in the metro area. This is another storm moving back into the southwest sides of town in northern sections of Grady County. So those of you that live in El Reno and Yukon, I know we're talking about the storms that are in the metro area, but down to your south in northern sections of Grady County near the Minco area, the National Weather Service has just issued a new tornado warning. So folks, we're talking about 3 separate areas. Tornado warning for northern Grady County. That storm is going to continue to move to the northeast. It's closest to a tiny town called Pocasset. We'll watch that closely. Storms continue on the ground in the metro area, in the Midwest City area right now, and another tornado warning in effect for northwest Oklahoma. So we're watching 3 separate storms, northwest Oklahoma, northern Grady County, and the storm going on in the metro area right now. Mike, this is incredible situation. The storm in the metro area, the strongest and the one that is on the ground right now.
And sometimes these ones trailing back behind will track along the same boundary that was left down by the first one. So there's a possibility a new tornadic cell could be coming into the metro. You folks in northern Grady County, of course, extremely serious tornado warning. Jim Gardner live in Chopper 4. Also Jeff, one of our forewarned storm trackers in Tinker Air Force Base. Go ahead. Jeff, go ahead. Jim Gardner live in Chopper 4. Jim, tell us what you see right now. What's your location?
Well, Mike, you hit it right on the head there. It did turn left. It missed Tinker completely, but it went right across the north end of the diagonal runway, and it almost just like made a turn there and is going straight north now from what we're seeing. It appears to have dissipated a lot, Mike. It appears to be losing some of its force, but there's still a lot of lightning out here, and we're looking around here, there still look like a lot of potential of another tornado forming here anywhere.
Okay, let's stay with Jim Gardner's picture. Let's go with one of our storm trackers, Jeff. He is at Tinker Air Force Base. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, we follow the tornado avenue. Moore sustained major damage. It's a quarter-mile wide, F4, possibly F5. It came in. I've got major damage between 29th and 49th and Sooner Road. Considerable damage. It's about a mile wide damage. A lot of apartment buildings, houses destroyed.
Quit, did it?
It's just southwest, just west of the Tinker Air Force runway is where there's considerable damage.
Okay, we have that. Stay with us on the phone. Let's go now to Tara Bloom in Moore at the damaged site. Tara, you're live.
Mike, there is a lot of damage all around us here. This is the First Baptist Church. You can see their sign hanging right there, and we can see the path of the tornado. I don't know if you can see all those homes in the distance, but then it crossed Southwest 89th. We see a daycare center with the roof completely torn off, the sign torn off, playground equipment everywhere. Then take a look at all these power lines that are down and these lights that are down, and look into that neighborhood. Many of those homes are completely demolished. We just see the sticks of the homes, the roofs. sticking up, shingles everywhere, a lot of people wandering through the neighborhoods here. Just a few minutes ago we talked to some people. About 40 people were huddled under I-35. We're just east of there. And they said that 3 truckers basically saved a bunch of lives by getting everyone up underneath that underpass there, and everyone there was safe. There was a few people that had cuts and bruises. I saw a little boy limping quite badly. But everywhere we look right now, we just see a lot of damage and a lot of destruction right in this area, Mike.
Tara, have you heard any preliminary reports of the personal situation down in Moore?
I have not heard of any serious injuries at this time. What I've been able to find out is some people were hit with flying debris, cuts and bruises. We haven't been back in that neighborhood yet. We just got here, and we're just basically surveying all that you see around me.
Okay, we are looking at a report here, Tara, at 134th Street South and Penn. Reports of multiple ambulances going to that location.
We don't know exactly what the cause is, but we do know a lot of ambulances going down there. There's going to be a lot of power outages in the next hour or so as this storm continues to move through the south sides of town. Again, a reminder, we're simulcasting on radio on your FM dial on 104.1. 107.7. That is damage.
Mike,
okay.
Yes. Go ahead, Jim.
Mike.
Yes.
You got to look at this. This is phenomenal. It's gone. The neighborhood is gone. We are over a neighborhood just west of Tinker Air Force Base. It is gone, Mike. Up here, Steve. Up here. Pan up here. I mean, we come around, pull back. It's gone. It's leveled. There's nothing here. I mean, it's incredible. The damage, there must be 350 homes, Mike, that are gone. It's just foundations and rubble. I mean, it's incredible.
What, Jim, that's just on the west side of Tinker Air Force Base?
That's just directly on the west side of Tinker Air Force Base, Mike, where this thing tracked and, like you said, made a left. We can follow it around here. It's a perfect traveling northeast bound. It gets up in this neighborhood and it goes, turns left and goes north. If Steve has got if you see in this, Mike, this is incredible damage. I mean, it's just the neighborhood is gone.
Okay, we need to start thinking about things like potential blood donations, potential charitable items to these families in this part of the metro, blankets, a warm place to stay tonight. You name it, because they need it, and they need our help right now. Midwest City, Moore, and Newcastle all need the rest of the Metro's help. So if you're in a position to help these folks in any way, we invite you to do so. That gives you an idea of the mass destruction in South Oklahoma City. Go ahead.
This is, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's devastation. I mean, we're tracking northbound, northeast bound, following this neighborhood. You're looking at it, as Steve, we're going to cross here, Steve, just keep panning up. I'm just following the swath of where this went. It's probably at least a quarter mile wide. Oh. Here, look at this. It's the whole neighborhood, Mike. The whole neighborhood is gone. There's nothing.
That is F5 tornado damage, 260-mile-an-hour winds plus.
Oh,
the entire.
Those that are listening on radio, we're looking at damage of what was a neighborhood. Unfortunately, it looks now.
It's totally destroyed.
It is. Boy, I'm almost speechless. It's absolutely incredible. These are homes that are no longer homes.
No roofs,
just scattered debris for miles and miles. Dangerous situation.
Jim, is it not wanting you necessarily to pan up, but can you still see the tornado on the ground?
Mike, it appears to have fallen apart now. Right here, I'm looking
just
at it.
Just southwest of Nakoma Park is where it is right now. If it's,
okay, right
that's
now
our
we
signature.
can't. Right now we can't see it. It appears to have weakened significantly. I am following the damage here. Right here, it ends at this neighborhood. I don't see any more damage or too much damage across. Well, I can still see minor damage across I-40 on the north side. But we're standing here, we're making a turn now, Mike. We're going to go back southbound through this neighborhood. If Steve can give a wide shot, Steve, you're on the wrong side. Swing
Look at all the emergency vehicles.
We do encourage you not to try to drive down this area.
We're going to try to show you this path, Mike. This is the path. That's the northern edge of where the tornado lifted right there, shooting back south. And look at it. It just looks like a steamroller came through here and just wiped everything out of its path.
Well, we got to pray for those people. That is absolutely incredible.
They need everybody. They need our help.
If you are in your home right now, watching this away from the storm, say a prayer for the folks that were in this area, because it's absolutely incredible.
Updated tornado warning for Nakoma Park northeastward, western Lincoln County, Oklahoma County until 8:30. That's from Tacoma Park northeastward into Lincoln County. It's for that cell. Also, we have this one back down to the southwest, which is still some.
Let's go to Storm Tracker real quickly. I'll talk about the 3 areas very quickly as we get back to those live pictures. We have tornado warnings that continue in effect for northern Oklahoma. This is the storm that is located near the Helena area in the southeastern sections of Alfalfa County. That is northern Oklahoma. We're also watching another area where a possible tornado may be on the ground west of the Oklahoma City area. We're talking about an area that is located south of I-40, south of the Yukon area, all the way down to the river. We're talking about Minko and Tuttle in through this area. It's a very dangerous situation. The southwest part of the storm is located west of Minko and southwest of the Union City, and the tornado warning for Oklahoma County continues in effect. That is the damage that we've been showing you. That is the storm that continues to move to the east and to the northeast. So again, that is the storm that eventually will move out of Oklahoma County and into the western sections of Lincoln County. So Mike, we have 3 areas of possible areas of danger. 3 areas, the one in central Oklahoma has already caused a tremendous amount of devastation.
And we'd like to say that we're no longer under a threat here in Oklahoma City, but we still are because we have this cell back to the west of Minko. Let's take the chopper shot full and go to our ground units. Jeff is on the forewarn line. Jeff, go ahead. Jeff, you are live.
Picked up or ended at Rose State College. The debris was falling out of the grate. There is minor damage at Rose State College. That is where the tornado lifted. But, Mike, from Moore all the way in to the west side of Tinker, there's nothing but total destruction. I'm confident it was an F4, possibly an F5 in locations. The Moore sustained substantial, very heavy damage, and I'm positive that I hope everybody took shelter there. It was really bad. Back down in Moore, Mike.
Okay, we're going to a special broadcast from the Oklahoma County Emergency Management right now in seconds. Special broadcast. The Oklahoma County Emergency Management is scheduled to break into programming for a special message on the Maxie violent tornado, which is tracking through and has tracked through the south and southeastern sides of Oklahoma City. We're standing by for that for special information from the Oklahoma County Emergency Management.
As soon as we get their message, we'll go to that right away. New tornado warning for Canadian County, northern Grady County. This is a new tornado warning until 8:45. Storm is located west of Minko on Storm Tracker. If we can take the Storm Tracker system, I'll show you the area of concern located southwest of Union City. Union City is a city located southwest of Yukon. We're talking about west and southwest sides of town. Brand new tornado warning continues in effect. Those of you that live in the northern part of the state, tornado warnings continue in effect for the northern part of the state, up located in Alfalfa County, working its way over towards the Grant County area. And here in the metro area, if you're just tuning in, we have had a major tornado on the ground that has ripped through miles and miles of South Oklahoma City that has caused tremendous amount of devastation. This is still a very dangerous storm that continues to move to the east-northeast at 25 to 30 miles per hour. There'll be a lot of power outages. You may not be able to get the television signal. We're simulcasting on radio, on FM at 107.7 KRXO, on FM at 104.1 KMGL, and on AM at 1520 KOMA. Continue to monitor the signal because this is very, very dangerous, folks.
And ONG has called, and they are pleading with us to tell the folks that there are a lot of down power lines. Many of those are still hot. And folks that are even wandering around in the damage, whether they were affected or not, need to know there are many down power lines, not to mention broken glass, broken wood. The best recommendation is we just can't have additional people unless they're emergency people going to that part of the metro.
Well, there are going to be a lot of looky-loos who see the devastation on television and want to see it. That's the worst thing that you can do. The best thing you can do right now is to stay away from this area. Kevin Ogle is asking exactly where this area is. We're talking about an area in Midwest City very near the Tinker Air Force Base area. The pictures we're showing on the air is this neighborhood that is located very near Tinker Air Force Base, and Jim Gardner is providing us these pictures. Jim, can you be specific? Can you see some reference roads that we can tell folks exactly what neighborhood this may have been?
This is on the west side of Air Depot, I believe. It's the first major, I believe, that runs on the west side of Tinker. I believe that's Air Depot. I may be wrong, but it's a neighborhood all through there. We're going to probably lose a signal here in a minute. We believe we got somebody flashing a flashlight that is trapped in this rubble right here. Dan, they've been flashing a flashlight at us. We're going to drop low. You're probably going to lose our signal. We're going to see if somebody's trapped here because they've been trying to get our attention here. So we may be off the air just for a minute.
Okay, that's Jim Gardner live. He's going to lower the chopper down. Someone is flashing a flashlight at him, potentially for someone who's trapped in a home, and this is going to be just to the west of Tinker Air Force Base.
We talk about how important it is to have necessary drills in your home, have working flashlight, things of that nature. We'd much rather sacrifice having pictures on TV if it means possibly saving someone. And let's be honest, we're probably going to lose lives tonight. This has been a massive area that's caused a widespread area of damage, so we do need to think about folks later on going to their blood banks and providing blood. We're going to have some areas that people are going to need shelter, and certainly people tonight need your prayers.
Mike, do you still have me?
Yes, you're there, Jim.
Mike,
go ahead.
If Steve can get this picture, we have people running down the street hugging one another, finding family and friends. They're hugging one another. Everybody's out in the street now. I mean, this is an incredible sight, Mike, from up here. I mean, it's kind of hard to talk because, I mean, there's so much destruction up here. And these people are just, there's nothing left of their homes, Mike. I mean, it's just devastation beyond belief.
We have from here, Jim, apparently they may have been flashing SOS. Just to give you an idea of the despair, the desperation that is going on in the swath. This was not an F1 tornado, it wasn't an F3 tornado, it was an F4 or an F5, and these are capable of totally sweeping away brick homes, well-established homes, sweeping them completely away and destroying them. That's what we're looking at right now.
That's right. The F scale is the scale that we talk about that provides us with an estimate of the damage that we have. Winds strong enough to move homes off foundations, perhaps in excess of 200 miles per hour, perhaps winds in excess of 260 miles per hour. The F5 scale, the Fujita scale, shows an F5 is between 261 and 318 miles per hour. A force that is extremely, extremely strong. Very, very dangerous situation. We continue also watch the other areas under tornado warnings. Still very, very dangerous situation. Tornado warnings continue for the folks that live south of the Yukon area, south of El Reno. We're talking about southern sections of Canadian County. Canadian County is the county that's located west of the Oklahoma City area, northern sections of Grady County.
And that's still showing a strong indication of a tornado coming across the river. So Union City, you folks are in the path, Union City, and that's going to move up toward Yukon. Union City, Banner, Yukon, you need to know that there has been multiple touchdowns with that storm, and it potentially could tornado as it moves past Union City and then up toward Yukon. So we need to express that. Now let's go to our chopper shot live, and we have Brian, one of our forewarned storm trackers in Choctaw, and Brian has the tornado lifted currently. You're live.
No, the tornado continues on the ground to the northeast of Choctaw.
It is still on the ground northeast of Choctaw. That's the same tornado that just went through South Oklahoma City, still on the ground. Go ahead.
It is very violent. It's becoming rain-wrapped again. It's hard to follow. I've been tracking it since the touchdown. Well, it's been on the ground since I followed it from Newcastle. And it was up to a mile wide, and north section of Moore and Midwest City were nailed bad.
And how far east of Choctaw are you located, Brian?
I'm just a little bit east, like maybe a half mile. There's been some major damage.
Okay, so we're talking about over here to the east of Choctaw, major damage. The tornado warning does continue. You folks from Choctaw over to Fowler and north of Jacktown and Warwick, just south of the Turner Turnpike, it is headed your direction. So we need to express to the folks from Choctaw east-northeastward, that's the same tornadic storm, and it continues to be on the ground right now. From our forewarned storm tracker, Brian. Brian, please stay with us. Let's go back to the chopper shot. Dan.
Mike, those folks that are in South Oklahoma City, in the Moore area, folks that had damage earlier, there is still another very large storm that's to your west that may track over that exact same area and track back over you. So again, those of you that are listening on radio that had the storms that came through 20 minutes to 30 minutes ago, we're looking at the damage. This is very incredible.
It's at least an F4.
Mike and Dan,
yes, go ahead.
This is just, you know, you guys can probably describe it better than I can. I don't know, but I mean, this is heartbreaking. I mean, cars are twisted like toys. I mean, it's just incredible, the damage. But I mean, at least one warming thing was people were running out, hugging one another, you know, relatives, loved ones. I mean, I hate to say how much, you know, I hope, Dan and Mike, that we don't have any deaths, but looking at this devastation, I just can't believe there's not going to be some fatalities in this.
Jim, how wide is the swath where you're located?
The swath I'm looking at right now is probably, probably almost a quarter-mile wide through this area.
And,
it seems to narrow in some places, and then it gets wider in others, Mike.
And what you're hovering over what neighborhood for folks, the approximate area cross streets?
Well, let me get a bearing here, Mike. That'd be Air Depot. Steve, what would you say that street is right there? No, this one running east and west. East and west.
Just do the best we can.
Detailed map of South Oklahoma City and more, if we can. Chuck, I need a map South Oklahoma City and more.
It appears to be just southeast and southeast 29.
Okay. We encourage the folks who are not related to the disaster. Okay. Confirmation from Choctaw Police. 2 tornadoes just to the east. Just to the east. 23rd and Harper Road. Now, this is the same storm, and it's still tornadoing primarily near Choctaw and on the eastern sides of Choctaw. We encourage you, if you are not involved in rescue operations, to stay away from South Oklahoma City. There's a tremendous amount of debris, as you can see from Chopper 4. Jim, go ahead. You're live.
Okay, Mike, this street that runs east and west is southeast 44th. I'm rolling around here. I believe that's Sooner Road and southeast 44th, I believe. Let me lower down here. We're dropping low. You may lose our signal. We're going to check out a sign here. Sooner Road. Did you copy that, Mike?
Yes, we did.
It's Sooner Road, southeast 44th, 1 block west of Sooner Road on southeast 44th. It crossed over southeast 44th, going from south to north. It's that neighborhood all the way through here, all the way up to I-40, south end to I-40, all the way down south to the next major.
Okay, Jim, stay with us. We are going to go over to Kevin Ogle, and we are now getting reports. Kevin, what can you tell us from the South Metro?
Mike, we're getting reports from Southwest Medical Center. They have 10 to 20 patients being transported to them right now. Emergency, as you can imagine, from the housing addition located at 134th and Southwestern. Several of those injuries, several of those patients being rushed to Southwest Medical are critical. As you look at that devastation, you can imagine that, and you can well imagine there will be more injuries being transported to more local hospitals right now. Back to you.
Okay, Kevin, we'll come back to you as soon as you have any updates from Southwest Medical Center in the South Metro. We are continuing to look at a couple of things here. Dan, we're looking at a storm projection here from the tornado.
That's right. This is the same storm that produced all the damage. This is a storm projection on Storm Tracker. This storm now located near the Choctaw area, getting confirmation of this storm on the ground. And again, 807 and around the Jones area. Folks that live in Luther, take immediate tornado precautions. There's a storm to your southwest moving in your direction. Those of you watching us near the Langston area, storm may be as fast as 835 moving into your area. Those who are listening and watching near the Fallis area around 858. Those who are listening and watching that live in the Wellston area, tornado on the ground moving up towards the Wellston area at 8:59. Very, very dangerous situation. This storm has already caused tremendous amount of damage across parts of central Oklahoma. It is still on the ground. It is still working its way in through this region. Mike, northern Oklahoma also continues under tornado warnings for the folks that live in the Alfalfa County area. That storm is going to be moving up towards Grant County. Tornado warning still in effect for Alfalfa County, also still in effect for the folks that live in southern sections of Canadian County. Yes. Also tornado warnings continue in effect for the storm in Oklahoma County in the Jones.
The circulation on that cell is still very intense north of Minco, and we're also tracking that from our tower cam as well. And that does have the potential of coming into the West Metro from Mustang and Yukon toward Bethany and War Acres. And we're looking at it from the tower looking toward the southwest, and that should be coming into view from our tower. Let's go to Jim Gardner live. Also David Payne on the phone. We want to reiterate OG&E and all emergency officials are pleading with folks to, if you're in the damaged area, exercise extreme caution because of down live power lines, not to mention all the debris. If you do not live in this area and you don't know anyone in this area, we encourage you, we plead with you, do not go to this part of Oklahoma City. Yep. We just can't express that enough. David Payne is now live. Our ground unit, we're taking Jim Gardner's chopper shot. David, go ahead. David,
okay, Mike, yeah, we're southeast. Okay, Mike, we're fourth here and just east of Bryant. And folks can think back what Mount St. Helens looked like with all the trees bent over, nothing left. That's pretty much what it looks like here. Not a house standing here for about a half-mile wide. We were the first ones on the scene behind the tornado. As it was coming down 44th, it crossed in front of us. We stopped. We pulled up, and nobody was around. People started coming out. People started screaming for help. They saw our truck. They were screaming for help. And, of course, that's when the chase ends. So we jumped out. We ran over, tried to help people as much as we can. I'm just trying to comfort people. I worked with a lady that was trying to comfort a lady that had a broken leg, a compound fracture. A gentleman kept complaining of heart problems. He was having a heart attack. They just now loaded him in the back of the pickup. And what's amazing is that people need to keep in mind we don't need people down here. It's getting very, very busy. They're going to shut this off, but there are good-hearted Samaritan Oklahomans that are pulling through, loading people in the back of their pickups and taking them to the hospitals, because there are no rescue units here right now. This is all volunteer police officers, volunteer firemen here with us now. And yeah, and again, like I said, they're taking all the injury out. People are loading people that are severely injured in their cars. There's still people missing. They're still wandering through trying to find people. There's not a house left where I'm looking, and I'm standing in ground zero where the tornado came right through here. There's not one house left, and the trees are stripped off, and there's cars that are now the size of about 50-gallon barrels, and it's just incredible. I'm just amazed at how bad the devastation is. And again, people are just literally pulling up, and they're putting people that are literally passed out, they're not even moving, in the back of cars, and they're driving to the hospitals.
Giving us live reports there from the ground. We're looking at live picture for those that are watching on television of the ambulance crews. Please stay out of this area. Emergency vehicles will need to get down into this area. If you work in a hospital in the southern part of Oklahoma County, likely they will need extra help. I would encourage folks, though, if it's possible for you to stay where you're at, to do that. Live power lines likely still on the roadways as well. Mike, the storm is near the Union City area. I do want to talk about, because it's still very dangerous. Storm Tracker continues to show this storm located near the Union City area. If it continues on its present course, at its present speed, it will be in the Yukon area at 8:30. It'll be in Bethany at 8:43. It'll be in War Acres at 8:45. This is a very dangerous storm. I know we've already had one storm in the Oklahoma County area. This is a storm that may be producing a tornado right now that's located southwest of Yukon and south of the El Reno area. If you live in Yukon or El Reno, you should once again go to your safe place. We're talking about, let's have those tips up there. Let's talk about the safe things to do. You need to, right now, go to the safe place that you can. Go to the center of your home or to the basement. If you have a storm cellar, that's great. If you don't, go there right now in the hallway. Put the kiddos in the bathtub. Put a blanket over them. Some folks put a mattress over them. You want to stay away from windows. It may get very noisy because these storms will also have a lot of lightning and may lose power. You can turn up your radio or use a battery-operated radio or television. We're simulcasting on radio on FM 107.7, on KRXO, also on FM at 104.1, KMGL. We're also simulcasting on AM on Coma 1520 KOMA. So you can listen in case the power goes out if you have a battery-operated radio. Mike, this is still a very dangerous situation because many folks are going to want to get outside, unfortunately, to see this, and that's the worst thing, the worst thing that they can do.
That's right, Dan. Also, we want to pass along that various churches are opening.
They need to go to Southeast 44th and Sooner Road.
Let's go ahead and take Jim Gardner's chopper shot here. Oak Crest Church of Christ at 1111 Southwest 89th. That's between Penn and Western. Will open for shelter to anyone who is in need. And their phone number, if you need to jot this down, is 745-3905. That's the Oak Crest Church of Christ between Penn and Western on Southwest 89th Street is open, and we obviously, and all the churches are so well aware of this, we do encourage obviously any church in certainly the southern parts of the metro to open up as soon as you possibly can for this situation. Given the extent of the damage, there is no doubt a lot more of this that we still do not know about.
Mike, real quickly on northern Oklahoma, that tornado warning for Alfalfa County no longer in effect. Grant County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's in the northern part of the state. For those of you in the Helena area that have been up around the Cherokee area in northern Oklahoma, your tornado warning is no longer in effect. So we're clearing northern Oklahoma, at least for now, from any tornadoes. There are going to be some thunderstorms in around Medford. So right now, instead of 3, we have 2 areas to focus on. We're talking.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
63rd and Triple X still on the ground.
Still on the ground. Okay, this is the area that we're talking about. Very dangerous situation. This storm that passed through the Midwest City area that caused all the devastation. If it continues on its course, it's going to move up towards the Luther area, over towards the Wellston area, and eventually perhaps up towards Langston. So again, you're looking at pictures of the devastation the tornado has already caused, and we're talking about the storm's projected path. On that present course, it would move up eventually over towards the Luther area, over towards the Wellston area, and eventually over towards Langston. So if you live in those areas, take immediate tornado precautions. If you're new to the state and unfamiliar with this, you do need to be aware that if you'll take these necessary precautions, you'll have a much greater chance of survival. Mike?
Dan, here's another tornado warning now for southern Cleveland County, and this is for a hook echo and a possible tornado just northeast of Purcell. That'll track over toward the Lake Thunderbird Dam, Pink, and Little Axe. That's a new tornado warning for you folks in southern Cleveland County, and we can take a look at that on the edge. There's the hook echo right there, and that is for Lake Thunderbird Dam, Pink, and Little Axe. That is a new developing tornado just to the east of Noble and northeast of Purcell. Sirens are going off in El Reno for this circulation back here to the west. And this is really still wrapping up quite heavily just to the north of Union City. And once again, if that persists, there is the potential to get tornadic activity from Yukon up into Bethany, perhaps Village, Nichols Hills, and southwest Edmond. Although the very latest report we've received, also from our tower cam, is that right now there is no tornado on the ground, just a rotating wall cloud. Chopper 4, Jim Gardner, go ahead.
Mike, we moved up to the north side of I-44. You're looking at the damage. If Steve can follow, I'm coming around here. It's getting kind of turbulent. There are cars that were on I-40 when this tornado passed. They are twisted. They are laying over on the side of the road right there. Emergency crews are with them. They've shut down I-40 totally in this area. There are cars just strewn over to the side. I mean, they're just twisted up. They're trying to get the people out, Mike. I mean, this is just the worst scenario that could have happened.
These cars have been thrown a considerable distance, Jim.
They have, Mike. I mean, they were on I-40. You can see it's just. I don't know what I just need to let the pictures show you the devastation, Mike, of the power of this thing. It's wiped out a hotel here across, but the people that were on I-40, I mean, they had no chance, Mike. No, there's cars down in the creek. It's horrible.
Jim, we're going to stay with your chopper shot. We need to express to the folks in Union City and the West Metro, it is on the ground, multiple vortex, 2 miles northeast of Union City. Now, this is on the western sides of the metro. It's a completely different storm. It is now tornadoing, multiple vortex on the ground from our forewarned storm trackers, and it's going to be headed up toward Yukon. You folks in Yukon, you need to go to your safe spot right now, interior closet or bathroom. It is on the ground 2 miles northeast of Yukon. That will be traveling into the West Metro area. Let's go to Tara Bloom, who is live in Moore. Tara, go ahead.
Well, Mike, I just walked back into this neighborhood and I saw probably 50 to 75 homes before I came back out, and they are completely demolished. Some of the homes only may have a closet standing or just one part of a room standing. And we are hearing reports of injuries. I just talked to an emergency worker. They're setting up a command post here behind me. You can see that. And I asked, are there injuries? He says, yes, there are injuries. How many? He said, too many to count. One of the residents back here that got out safely said about 15 minutes ago they were trying to get a person that was trapped inside of their home out, and another person they said they believed was in critical condition that they took away. But I don't know if you can see the path of the storm, but you can see I guess we're on video right now. Well, let me show you. You can see, like, this is the First Baptist Church where this command post is, and we're behind the sign that is crumpled there. You can see the path of the tornado as it crossed Southeast 89th, hit a small daycare center there, and then moved back through this neighborhood. Now, let's show you some more of the video that we have. And everywhere we looked and talked to people, they were telling stories of being in cellars, being in closets. One elderly couple that I talked to was in their closet. They said it didn't sound so bad until they came out and they noticed that most of their house was gone and they had insulation throughout their hair. Right now they are still searching back in this neighborhood for people, and one resident told me that they've been going from house to house asking if people are all right, but they're not getting a response from some of the homes, so they don't know for sure if people are inside or not, so there's a lot of uncertainty. There was one young couple running down the street screaming for the name of their son. They apparently were out of the neighborhood and coming back to check on the safety of their son. We can show you also the power lines right along here that are down. And another troubling sign is in the distance, we see the smoke, and I don't know if that's from a fire or what that's from, but a large plume of smoke started about 5 minutes ago in that direction west of I-35. This is as much as I can give you from right here, right now, Mike.
Tara, we'd like to come back to you as soon as you have anything additional to report to us. Let us know. We'll come back to you. That's Tara Bloom reporting live from Moore. Update on the tornado warning for the southwestern sides of the metro. The tornado warning is on the ground. Let's go to Dan Threlkeld in front of the storm tracker.
Mike, 3 areas that we're concerned about. Here's Oklahoma County, where Oklahoma City is. More than 1 million folks in this area. 3 areas that we're concerned about. First of all, there's more storms moving back into Oklahoma City. Here is the Yukon area. These thunderstorms will possibly contain a tornado. Earlier reports it was on the ground. It's going to continue to track to the east and northeast, move west of Lake Hefner, in through northwestern sections of the Oklahoma City area up towards the Deer Creek area, and it looks like most of it will pass east of Piedmont. Another area where a tornado may be on the ground is located south and southeast at the University of Oklahoma, located east of the Norman area. That'll continue to track over near the little small communities of the Pink area over towards Lake Thunderbird. That's tracking to the east-northeast. Tornado may still be on the ground here. This is the storm that caused all the devastation we've been showing and talking about that continues to move up towards the Wellston area. Wellston is located in Canadian County, a county that is located to the east of the Oklahoma City area. So again, this storm may be moving up towards Langston University over towards Wellston. You should be taking immediate tornado precautions for this storm. Also, this storm is extremely very dangerous, so all through central Oklahoma, you should go ahead and take shelter right now. Very dangerous situation, Mike. 1, 2, 3 possible tornadoes on the ground right now here in central Oklahoma. Back to you.
Dan, let's go ahead and take our chopper shot here. Also, Jim Gardner, we are on your shot. Let's go to Steve Carano, who is on the storm, which is now coming into the metro. Steve, we're talking about this cell west of Yukon. What do you see right now?
The flashers right
Mike, I'm going towards Yukon right now. I'm on Highway 152, about maybe a couple miles east of Union City. And I did see the funnel, and it did lift back up. There is strong rotation in this storm. I'm trying to get position on it once again and try to protect the folks of Yukon. So it is heading towards the folks in Yukon.
Okay, now is it on the ground right now, Steve?
I cannot see it, so I cannot say that it's on the ground, but I have had reports from listening to local law enforcement and so forth, and that it has been on the ground a couple of times through this storm.
It is really wrapped up out there to the west-southwest of Yukon. We'll go travel very close to Yukon and then perhaps on up toward Surrey Hills and Northwest Highway. Jim Gardner back on Chopper 4. Jim Gardner, Jim, pass along to us what you see.
Mike, this is just north of Oscar Rose Junior College on I-40. This thing crossed. I was looking, I thought this was just junk cars piled up, Mike, but these are cars that are off of I-40. There's a car with its flashers on, and there's cars in that creek submerged with the roof just sticking out. But if Steve follows it all the way back to where it crossed the road, those cars are cars from I-40 that had just stacked up, Mike. I'd hate to say how many lives are down there at this time that are fatalities, Mike.
Okay, that's Jim Gardner live. Jim, that's I-240 and about what cross street?
No, that's I-40, Mike. It's I-40 just at the Oscar Rose exit.
At the Oscar
Rose Junior College exit.
It's Rose State College, and incredible pictures you're looking at. Kevin Ogle now joins us. He's got more information. Kevin?
Danny, thank you. We've been talking to the folks at Midwest Regional Hospital. They say they have too many injuries to count right now coming into their facility. They do know that 3 are in critical, 2 small children involved right now. Also at Midwest Regional, we told you about Southwest Medical Center. They had about 20 patients being transported to them, several of them critical. Those folks were coming from the 134th and Southwestern areas. So again, area hospitals beginning to get some of those critically injured folks from that enormous tornado that ripped through that area right there. Back to you.
Okay, Kevin Ogle reporting live. We have David Payne on the line live. We can either take this shot or the chopper shot. Director's discretion. David, go ahead.
Okay, Mike. And again, we're at Southeast 44th between Sunny Lane and Sooner. And that's pretty much where Ground Zero came through here. And again, there are just now beginning to get some ambulances, actually no ambulances, but fire trucks, and no ambulances have shown up yet due to the fact that everybody's so strung out all over the place trying to help everybody. But again, as I said earlier, people are just putting victims in their cars and taking them, I do believe, to Tinker. I understand that someone told me that they've opened the gates up at Tinker, which of course is just east of here, and they're not taking people. I cannot confirm this, but I was told they're taking these people in this area they were taking them over to the Tinker Hospital over there, and I cannot confirm that. That's what I've just been told by several people who picked people up and said, we're taking people to Tinker. So again, a lot of injuries here as we got here earlier. Again, dealt with several people that had very, very serious injuries, and again, people, we walked up and people were walking out trying to grab the cell phone to call people. I mean, we have the only phone that works because I'm talking to you through the satellite phone, and that's why I'm able to talk to you. Well, none of these other people have satellite phones, so therefore that's why we're able to get out, and I've let people, of course, use this phone. But again, there's just nothing left at all. As far as I can see west, and as far as I can see to the east, it's flat. The tallest structure is about as tall as I am, just under 6 feet, and every house looks like just a mound of debris. There's no well-defined structure I can say, well, that was a house, or that wasn't a house, or there's just mounds of debris, and all the big trees are sheared off pretty much at the base. And again, we're still waiting on ambulances to arrive here, of course, but again, there's been a lot of people that have taken just people on their own, people loading in the back of the pickups and going to local hospitals trying to get these people safe. And they're still right behind me right now, 20 yards behind me. They're still digging people out right now. And there's a lot of debris here. There's a lot of big mounds of debris where people are still missing. A girl just ran up to me and said her mother-in-law was gone and she was home, and that was the last she talked to her. And, you know, I mean, and so she's over there right now with a group of people trying to dig through this pile of rubble to see if they can't find her mother-in-law. So, again, it's just a terrible scene here. There's just mass destruction everywhere. Everywhere around me I look, there's nothing left.
David, we want to come back to you here in just a minute. Needless to say that I-240, I-40, and I-35 are all impassable. So folks that are coming into Oklahoma from outside states, all three interstates are impassable because that F4, F5 tornado went across all three interstates. Also, the Moore Police Department is asking Heartland Search and Rescue to come to the intersection of Northeast 27th and I-35, Northeast 27th and I-35. More police requesting Heartland Search and Rescue for a situation which they desperately need their help to help find folks. Kevin, let's go over to you.
Thank you, Mike. Also, Feed the Children is calling, saying that they need folks to bring blankets, bottled water, whatever supplies they can to 333 North Meridian. 333 North Meridian. Feed the Children. They will get those supplies to the folks who need them down in southwest Oklahoma City. Shelter, you can take shelter there as well. If you need some place to go, they'll help you out at Feed the Children. Again, that address 333 North Meridian, but they need supplies there, blankets, bottled water, whatever else you can bring down there to help those folks who've been devastated by tonight's tornado. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much. We also want to pass along that the church is Oak Crest Church of Christ at 1111 Southwest 89th Street between Penn and Western is open for shelter for anyone who is in need. And the phone number is 745-3905. And there will probably be numerous other churches who are either opening or are open. And if you are, please call us so we can pass this along to the folks in the South and Southeast Metro that need shelter, because there are literally hundreds, if not more, that need shelter in that part of the metro.
Mike, let's get an update on the activity on Storm Tracker. We'll do a projection. We're still watching the active storms across parts of central Oklahoma. The storm that is located near the Luther area is located southwest of Wellston. That is on the east sides of Oklahoma City. Storm projection shows it moving into Wellston at 8:37. So those of you that live in the Wellston area, take immediate tornado precautions. This storm possibly still on the ground. What about out to our west? We're still watching the activity that is located on the west sides of Oklahoma City. Still a possible tornado on the ground. Folks that live in Canadian County, you're still under a tornado warning. Here's the area of concern that we're talking about. That storm is now lifted north of the Union City area and continues to track to the north and northeast. On its present course, the strongest activity will pass near or just to the east of Piedmont. It will pass west of the Lake Hefner area. Tornado warning continues for the folks in Canadian County. And again, this storm is still moving to the east and to the northeast. The storm tracker predicts it'll be moving in towards the Yukon area about 8:32. Eventually, if it holds together, we'll move towards Edmond at 9:15, Cashin at 9:16. The storms that we had that were tornadic in northern Oklahoma have since weakened. That is certainly good news. So, Mike, the storms that are down to our south, also tornado warnings. The storm that was down near the Lake Thunderbird area, still a possible tornado, though it doesn't look as great. That's still tracking to the east-northeast towards Pink. So, again, folks that live down near Lake Thunderbird and eventually over to northwestern Pottawatomie County, that's the county that Shawnee is in, a storm that is to your south is going to be moving towards western and northwestern sides sides of Pottawatomie County. So we still have 3 areas of concern across the Yukon area, across Luther area, and also down east of the Norman area where tornado warnings continue in effect. And consider, Mike, what we've already had. Many areas, once again, will get rain on top of what's already been a devastating evening.
That's right, exactly. And we are very concerned about all 3 of those areas. The one out to the west, we are tracking that from our tower cam. Also, Steve Carano is on that. It has had multiple touchdowns, and that's the cell. You're looking down Britton Road to the west, and that's the cell which is now coming into the West Metro from Yukon near the Xerox plant, and on up toward Northwest Highway and Northwest Oklahoma City. Council, Northwest Highway, on up north and west of Baptist Hospital. That is a tornado warning for that cell. And we want to express that for you folks in West Central and Northwestern Oklahoma City and that part of the metro as well. Heartland Rescue Search is requested for Northeast 27th and I-35 and more. They need your help. Heartland Search and Rescue for a rescue situation at that location. Do we have anything new from our ground units? Go ahead.
5 east of Highway 81 on I-40, there was a brief touchdown just a minute ago.
5 miles east of Highway 81 on I-40. That's just to the west of Yukon. A brief touchdown. What time was that brief touchdown? 1 to 2 minutes ago. 5 miles east of Highway 81 on I-40. That's just to the west of Yukon. That's a brief touchdown, so that tornado warning does continue, and we'll take a look at that on the storm tracker. It is back down again. So, folks, once again, this is very serious. This is a tornado on the ground again just to the south of Richland, and that would be about 4.5 to 5 miles west-northwest of downtown Yukon. That'll take it up toward Richland and Surrey Hills and the far northwestern parts of Oklahoma City. If you live up along Northwest Highway, especially near the county line, Council, Rockwell, and MacArthur, on up into Canadian County to Piedmont, you folks need to seek shelter now as it is back on the ground 4 to 5 miles west-northwest of downtown Yukon, moving northeast at 30 to 35 miles per hour.
Folks still calling in with smells of natural gas. When we have devastation like this in Oklahoma, many of our homes are supplied with natural gas. Once homes move and are torn off their foundation, there is going to be the danger of natural gas in there, which is easy to ignite, especially with live power lines down, especially with a lot of lightning going on. So still a very, very dangerous situation. What can you do if you're home right now and you're not being affected by the storm? Stay in your home. Stay away from this area completely. Allow the emergency rescue folks, the ambulance folks, all the hospital and the law enforcement folks to get into that area to possibly save lives. We could have folks who are trapped in their homes right now that are not able to get out and will not be able to be rescued because the rescue crews can't get to them. So stay there. Don't be a looky-loo. We plead with you, if you're listening to us in your car, go home. Do not go into this area. You're causing problems, and unfortunately, many folks who are trapped tonight may not be rescued.
You know, the one thing we could do, we'll get notification of this shortly, I'm sure, if there are any designated shelter areas that you may go drop off blankets or perhaps an article of clothing. We will be hearing pleads for this as this situation continues to be assessed. But folks in South Metro and Southeast Metro need our help. In terms of the vital essentials. They do look at all the emergency lights. Jim Gardner reporting live. Jim.
Mike, that's right. These people need to stay out of these neighborhoods because now all the side streets are just parking lots, Mike. It's just incredible. We're moving up to I-35. I-35 is just a parking lot. I mean, but they need to, I know they're concerned, but they are just jamming the roads here. The emergency vehicles are not able to get through because you can see it's just a parking lot, Mike. There's just so many people trying to stream into this area. They need to stay clear of it. Let these people get in here and work through this rubble to try to save the people or anybody that's trapped in this.
Jim, you've been hovering over the damage. Can you give us an estimate as to how many homes you believe are damaged and how many are destroyed that you've seen?
Mike, it's hundreds. It could be in the thousands. I mean, it's such a wide area. I mean, I would say it's in the thousands, Mike. I just don't know. I wouldn't be truthful if I gave you any kind of number, but it's just so many. It's just hard to count.
Oh, okay, Jim, stay with us. We have new tornado warnings now for northeastern Canadian County. Richland, Surrey Hills, Piedmont, far northwestern metro. Also a new tornado warning for Lincoln County, and that's until 9 p.m. Tornado near Triple X and northeast 122nd over by the county line in eastern Oklahoma County. And there's the cell with a new tornado warning, Dano, until what time?
This is going to be a new tornado until 9 o'clock. A tornado reported just 3 miles west of Geary. Geary is a town that is located south of the Yukon area. So
that's even further out west. There's even another one out there. Northwest Canadian.
Northwest,
there it is.
That is a separate storm, another storm that is fired up. So, folks, we've got now 4 areas where possible tornadoes could be on the ground. And through all of central Oklahoma, you do need to keep a heads up, because this is the dangerous situation here.
That'll be over near the Chisholm Trail Community College on Highway 33 with the Hook Echo northwest of Calumet, north of Gary, north of Greenfield. So up on Highway 33 between Kingfisher and Watonga, it's headed your way, perhaps up toward Dover in Kingfisher County. That's a new tornado warning.
Brand new tornado warning. Again, a dangerous storm. It's still moving northeast. In fact, moving at about 40 miles per hour. That storm on its present course, as mentioned, will be tracking west and northwest of the Kingfisher area and through the Oklahoma County area. We're watching quite a few areas where tornadoes could possibly be on the ground. We'll hit those real quickly. Storm located near and west of the Yukon area. We'll be tracking up towards near the Piedmont area and over towards the Deer Creek area in northwest Oklahoma County. The tornado that caused all the devastation in Midwest City is now located near the Wellston area. That storm will continue to track near the Wellston area. That's to the east of Oklahoma City, and track near and north of the Chandler area. That is in Lincoln County. Lincoln County, you are under a tornado warning, and a tornado warning continues in effect to our south and to our southeast. And brand new tornado warning, another tornado warning. This storm that was near the Lake Thunderbird area, near the city of Pink. Pink is a small community east of Norman. Well, that storm is now working its way out of McLean and Cleveland County and working into Pottawatomie County. So those of you who are listening and watching in the Shawnee area, a possible tornado southwest of Pink is moving northeast at 35 on its present course. Will be passing near or just west of Shawnee, northwest of Tecumseh. Possible tornado on the ground, again located near the Pink area, that'll be tracking over towards McLeod. And those who are listening on radio, I know I'm rattling off these rather quickly, but we do have 4 possible tornadoes on the ground. Very dangerous situation here for central Oklahoma. We know Midwest City has had thousands of homes completely leveled. We know we have natural gas smell. We have live power lines down. We have emergency rescue crews trying to get to folks in the field. It's a dangerous situation. The best thing you can do is to stay home, stay off the roadways. We're watching this area near the Watonga area, watching the areas near Yukon and El Reno, watching the storm near Pink, and also watching the folks that live to the northeast of the Oklahoma City area because of a possible tornado zone. Mike, I cannot remember more tornado warnings. 4 possible tornadoes on the ground right now.
We have an update from David Payne. David, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike. Again, we've been reporting from southeast 44th between Sunny Lane and Sooner, and getting some crews in here now. Just got a report now. We may have, at least in this area, at least 1 fatality now. A woman was found about 200 yards in the middle of this debris field, which is just to the north of me. So looks like from this area, at least right now, just 1 fatality at this point. And she's about 200 yards north of just where we're parked. And again, they're still bringing people out where we are. People are still being loaded up into vehicles and, again, taken to, I understand, Tinker, the other close hospitals. Ambulances have not made it in here as of yet, but they're still taking people out. But, again, I just want to report that 1 fatality, it looks like.
Okay, what's the location again, David?
Southeast 44th between Sooner and Sunny Lane.
Okay.
Closer to Sooner.
Okay, we have a report of a touchdown near Banner Road for you folks in Canadian County. That's a tornado touchdown. Gone back up. It was briefly on the ground again near Banner Road, just to the northwest of Yukon. And let's take a look at the edge. And it's wrapped up just to the southeast of Richland. It is wrapped up, headed for Piedmont and Deer Creek, Edmond. Looks like it has turned to the left, and that'll take it up further into the Piedmont, Deer Creek, Edmond area. But if you live all the way down to Northwest Highway in northwest Oklahoma City, you folks need to be prepared to seek shelter. The sirens are going off in Bethany. Let's pray that it goes north of Bethany, and let's pray that it just lifts completely. But it is headed for you folks in Piedmont, Deer Creek, and the western sides of Edmond. We have Linda Cavanaugh on the phone currently. Linda Cavanaugh reporting live. Go ahead, Linda. Okay. She'll be back with us. Okay, the latest is a brief touchdown at Banner Road. It is now lifted, back up in the clouds, about to cross Northwest Highway south of Piedmont. Do we have Steve Carano perhaps on line 2? We can take Jim Gardner's live chopper view. Jim, can you give us an update from your vantage point?
Mike, right now we're sitting where the tornado crossed over I-40 here, and you can see the traffic. Steve, I don't know, he's pointing towards the neighborhood that it comes up. It's just a virtual parking lot. They're trying the best they can to divert traffic, Mike, around this area, but at this time it's just total mass confusion, Mike. It's just incredible. I mean, the amount of damage, the amount of just devastation. I mean, there's not much more I can say, Mike, and just let the pictures speak for themselves. Back to you.
Okay, Jim Gardner reporting live. We have Steve Carano on the phone. For you folks in the northwestern metro, we're very concerned about the areas Northwest Highway along the county line, Piedmont, Deer Creek, Edmond, perhaps even Lake Hefner. Steve, can you give us an update from your location?
Mike, I am in Yukon. I just went to Yukon. I'm on Highway 92, just past the 66 highway interchange. For you folks that are looking at maps, I cannot see anything, Mike, because it's so dark out here. I do see maybe some rotation. I've got good inflow into the storm. The storm silence were going off in Yukon. They were going off in Yukon. So you folks in Yukon and Piedmont, take cover because this cell is heading your way.
Okay, Steve, stay with that cell. The folks in northwest Oklahoma City want to stay informed on that particular tornadic cell. Right now, it is not on the ground. It was near Banner Road, but it is lifted, and let's hope that it stays up in the clouds as it moves across northwest Oklahoma County. Deer Creek, Edmond, Piedmont, Edmond, Lake Hefner, Northwest Highway, and the county line. You folks are in the path of that developing tornado. And that's a severe thunderstorm warning for Garfield County, Breckenridge, Drummond, Enid, Hunter, Kremlin, Wacomas. Severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. Hail the size of quarters. Dan, let's take a look at the big view on the storm tracker.
On the storm tracker, we'll show you the areas of concern that we're talking about. Those listening on radio, again, a reminder that your power may be going out. We're simulcasting now on FM 107.7, also on FM at 104.1, and on AM on KOMA at 1520. We're doing this to provide you with the information that you may need in case you lose electricity. You may not be able to hear Channel 4, but you will be able to provide, get the information that you may need if you're listening on radio. On Storm Tracker, we're showing that on TV. We're talking about areas of concern. Let's begin up to the northwest of the Oklahoma City area. The tornado warning for the Kingfisher area, still a very dangerous situation. We'll do a Storm Tracker on that. I want to show you the times of arrival for this possible tornado.